Hello and welcome back to the Canon Sports Show. I am very sorry for being away for so long. It was not my intention to be gone for this long. I went on vacation for a bit. I had some videos pre-recorded when I was on vacation that I released, and I had a bunch of these plans to make videos when I got back, and I was very excited to start making them. And I got sick like 2 days after I got back, so that was just very unfortunate. But anyway, today, as you can see, we are talking about the Cardinals' most recent preseason game, which was a 1-point victory for them. It was a fun game to watch. Like, surprisingly, I was very excited to watch the team play. I wanted to see how some of our guys would do. I'm just going to pause this quickly. I don't know why it's on. I thought that we looked surprisingly good. I was very happy with how we played. I thought that, basically everyone was talking about this. This team already looks better than pretty much any of those Cliff Kingsbury teams that we've had. Anyway, let's get into it. So, going into this game, it's preseason at the end of the day. So, us winning doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just unimportant that we won. But there are a lot of really good takeaways that you can take from this game. So, the things that I came in I was looking for going into the game. I wanted to see how the rookies played. I wanted to see how composed that we looked on the ball, like on both offense and defense. I wanted to see how our defensive schemes were, especially because, again, Jonathan Gannon is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach, so I wanted to see how they would do. And my biggest curiosities came from the O-line and D-lines. I wasn't sure how they were going to perform. And I feel like this game gave us a lot of good answers. So, talking about rookies first, all of our rookies performed really well. All the ones that played at the very minimum. Clayton Tune, obviously, 13 for 23, 135 yards, touchdown. He had the one pick. That wasn't really his fault. Rondell Moore, he fell. It's not 100% his fault. Like, I was very happy with how Tune played. He looked solid. He looked like a rookie quarterback at the end of the day. But he had really nice moments, really nice throws. Again, interception, unfortunate, but we can live with that, right? Paris Johnson Jr. didn't play much. I think he played like 15 snaps, some shit like that. He did a really good job. He was blocking very well. And then he was going against like starting caliber edge rushers too for the Broncos, because the Broncos played a lot of their starters. So it was good to see him play well. Michael Wilson, he looked comfortable out there, made some good catches. And he didn't look like amazing. We can come down here and look. Michael Wilson, 2 catches for 8 yards. He looked comfortable though, which is good to see. And I would say the most, I don't want to say surprising, what's the word? Just our best player in that game for our rookies that played was Kei'Trel Clark. Kei'Trel Clark was just fantastic. He made some good tackles. He made some really good plays just on the ball. Let me see if he's on here. I don't know why. Oh, that's receiving. God, I'm stupid. He had 3 solo tackles in that game, which were all really good tackles. He had that one pass deflection. He was just out there making really good plays. And the rumors are that he could be fighting for a starting quarterback position. So it's very good to see this man, just out there. We've struggled so much with our defensive back room. So it's nice seeing, hey, we drafted a really good guy here. We got someone that was really good. And hopefully this can continue on. So moving on to our composure in that game. The team looked very composed, very surprisingly composed, considering that we have a completely new coaching staff, a lot of new players. We didn't have a lot of penalties called against us, not a lot of holding calls, not a lot of, there was I could be wrong, but I didn't see much false starts and offsides. We just looked very composed out there, and it was nice to see that those penalties not called on us. The offensive plays that were called were very basic plays. They weren't anything crazy. But again, with what we have right now, this is what is going to help us be competitive, win games. Like, it's what we need, in all honesty, as of right now, especially with Kyler out. When Kyler's back, we can start to, fuck around the offense more and, try and make it into something special. But for now, I'm really happy with how we were calling the offense. Looking at our defensive schemes, they looked good. I mean, again, one thing I brought up in our little preseason podcast was I wasn't 100% certain of Jonathan Gannon's ability to coach defense. Because, I mean, obviously, that Eagles defense was really good. And some of that obviously had to have come from good coaching. But again, a lot of defensive coordinators are good, but a lot of them struggle when they're the head coach. But it looks like he did a really good job with his schemes. Like, I don't know, we had very active hands on the line. They were getting a lot of tip passes. We had lots of guys getting to the quarterback. Like the D line, we'll talk about that later. I forgot. We're gonna talk about the D line later, but the D line was great. I will say that there were some lapses in coverage. The middle was open at times, but overall, like, very good defensive schemes, and it's only gonna get better with more time with this team and more time with Jonathan Gannon, working with this team. So moving on to the offensive line and defensive line, they were both surprisingly good. The O-line was decent enough, considering how bad they usually are. The O-line looked pretty good. Our interior O-lineman depth is very bad, though. Other than that, there's not much bad I can say about the O-line. Like, they did a pretty solid job. Run game looked good. D-line was very good. Zaven Collins, he played the edge rusher for us, and he looked good in that role. Gardeck and Cameron Thomas both looked good, getting a sack each. We only got those 2 sacks, but we got tons of pressure throughout the game that led to a lot of bad throws and just scrambles from the quarterback where our defensive backs are there to make a play on the ball. And again, the lines were something that I was worried about going into it, but they showed up. And now I'd say the biggest thing you can take away is just, okay, like, where do we need to improve now? And you could say maybe add some more interior linebackers, and definitely D tackle is still a positional need for us. I actually didn't even realize like how he did so good. Yeah, he's a ASU football player, former ASU football player, so good to see him do well. Sorry about that. Alright, yes, that's all I was really looking for the game. That the Cardinals did not meet my expectations. They, like, surpassed them. I was very happy with how we played. And a lot of people are talking, like, a lot of the Cardinals fans are very happy, obviously, like, on Twitter and stuff. And everyone was pitching about how we were getting too confident, and I just hated that so much, because, like, this is a team that was so bad last year. Like, so disappointing. And you see a different energy in the building right now. Like, the coordinators we have, the coach that we have, it just seems like something's changing in Arizona, and this is a great sign for us. I want to talk about some of our best performances this game, so I want to talk about Clayton Tune and David Blau. Both did good, to be honest. Like, David Blau, I don't know if it's Blau or Blue. Anyway, he went 8 for 14, 86 yards, touchdown that won us the game. Like, he did really good out there. Clayton Tune, like we talked about earlier, really solid performance. But yeah, I feel like just everyone did a really good job. Tyson Williams, another guy I want to talk about. 10 carries for 51 yards is really goddamn good. And Corey Clement came out yesterday as our starting running back, so I would assume he's number 2. Tyson Williams number 3. I do want to talk about Clement as well. 6 rushes, 15 yards. Like, not crazy, but then also, 3 for 13 in the receiving category. So it's good to see that he was also involved in there, because obviously that's how the running back position is changing. But yeah, they both did great. And I do feel like running backs are an issue still. We could definitely use one man. We had Marlon Mack, but he's out for the year. But I really like the way that our running backs played. It's gonna be curious. I'm curious to see how they perform the rest of preseason. Again, we already talked about him, but Keitrell Clark, just phenomenal game. Like, especially considering we got this guy like pretty late in the draft, and like he's just performing super well already. And then Antonio Hamilton as well, a guy I want to talk about because I mean he had one pass defended as well as an interception, and that was pretty incredible because this is a guy that's been battling injuries. I mean, like he spilled oil on his like foot or something, and that kept him out for a while. It was really good to see him out there. Really good to see him just making plays. He's fighting for a roster position. We don't know 100% if he's gonna be on the team or not, and he really showed up at this game, and it's really good to see. And I hope that he honestly makes the team. I think he could be a nice addition to our cornerback room, and at the end of the day, just add more depth more than like anything else. Anyway, overall, the Cardinals really impressed. They did a very good job. I know it's a preseason game, but it's a big step for us because when you're going through this long, dramatic process of rebuilding a franchise, it takes time. Like it's hard to get going, and there's already great signs of life in this organization that we can build on, and that's the hope. Realistically, is that even though we're not going to be good this year, we can find some stuff that we can build on top of. If we can do that, this will be a very good season for the Cardinals. And then hopefully get some good draft picks next year, and then we're gonna have a lot of cap space, so maybe we look to sign some guys and go from there. I think this game showed a lot of areas that we were improving on, and it's shown that our team is going in the right direction. And we have a long way to go, but a very good start. I will be doing a podcast on the last two games of the season as well, or season of the preseason, and then maybe like a little podcast in between because it's like a little bye week in between the last preseason game and the what's it called first game of the season. Oh, another thing, yeah, Russell Wilson was fucking awful. But yeah, no, yeah, I plan on doing that for the Cardinals. It's gonna be good to have football back. ASU starting up soon. Podcast probably like a weekish before their first game. I'll post. I'm excited to see how they do. And one other thing too, if I sound different or this mic that I'm using currently is a bit quiet. Sorry, I'm using a different mic this time, and it's not nearly as good as the other one I've been using. But bear with me. I'm working on getting a new one. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy the podcast though. Again, feel free to leave your takes from the game on there. If there's anything like you want to talk about. Again, I love talking sports, so like if you just want to like talk to me about something in the comments, go for it. Like I'm more than happy to reply to you guys. But yeah, anyway, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast.